We're getting right back in reaction with two more grappling matches. We have Scurria versus Leonard Ventress.
Leonard Ventress currently walking out. Leonard Ventress weighing in at 204 pounds, 5'10", fighting out of Triad here in Ruston. So both of these gentlemen relatively local. I believe Leonard is 4-1 in amateur fights. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, he's an MMA fighter. Several of his fights have been here in the DFC cage. He's fought for a title before against Jake Christensen. He fought here last time at DFC 7. I believe it was a decision that he won in that one. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my recollection here. He might have gotten the rear naked choke in the third round. Now that I'm thinking about it. But definitely uses his grappling style to win his MMA fights. This is not going to be anything foreign to him here as far as a grappling match. A lot of his MMA fights turn into grappling matches.
Absolutely. So a lot of translation there, as well as for Grant Scurria. I believe he's fought twice for us purely in the grappling, correct?
Yeah, he's 1-1 in the DFC grappling bouts. Lost his first one against one of Leonard's teammates out of Triad Wrestling, and then came back with a strong performance here last time.
Absolutely, as we're saying, we're waiting for the walkout. Music queued up, crowd getting rowdy here on the Bayou this evening.
Lenny wearing his signature pink shorts, pictures of his dogs on him on his shirt. Quite a character, Mr. Ventress. Dead shot.
So for the 200-pound fighters, is there any key significant differences you expect to see in the 8-minute round?
I know both these guys are very strong. They both have good takedowns. Leonard's really big on just shooting a double leg, and Grant's a great high school wrestler himself. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the arena, Grant Scurria.
Mr. Grant Scurria here out of Clone Grace Jiu-Jitsu, Western Road, the even more local fighter. As we said, great high school wrestling background, was a standout wrestler. I do some wrestling training with him. He's essentially my wrestling coach, we'll say, and he's here to bring it for sure.
Absolutely. Very interesting to see who can establish dominance, who can own the initial set and takeout for the actual initial skirmish itself for a match like this. For wrestling, there's a small translation in the cage because now all of a sudden you can use a wall, and
right.
I think that may work more for the MMA fighter with a little more experience in that.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think the first minute of this match is going to have a big indication on who wins it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest is a grappling bout scheduled for 1 8-minute nap, tap, or snapping round. Introducing first, competing out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 204 pounds, hailing from Ruston, Louisiana, representing Triad Martial Arts Academy, Ruston. Give it up for Leonard Deadshot Ventress. His adversary, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 204 pounds, from right here in Monroe, Louisiana, and Chrome Racing Jiu-Jitsu. Give it up for Grant Scurria. Third man in charge of the action, Mr. Chris Hill, Monroe. Let's get it on.
Yeah, both these guys have great takedowns. Lenny, especially with his double leg, that's kind of his signature move in his MMA fights. I would say Grant has a more diverse attack that we've seen. Really like some high elevation impact takedowns.
Both men instantly trying to engage here in the middle. No reason to back up at all, it seems.
Yeah, this is going to be the most important part of the fight, is who wins this hand fight and who gets top position. I think that's going to have a big determining factor on who wins.
Both men rather intricate hand fighting. Grant trying to see if there's any distance and a small backup there.
Yeah, and you see him touching the mat there. He's just making sure he's nice and low. Helps him get in on shots, helps him defend shots. See a little more, slightly lower stance from Scurria.
Leonard seeming not at all to want to take any sort of disadvantage in the hand fight, just rather disengage and step back in.
Yeah, both of them touching at the legs, trying to get out reactions, trying to find an opening. I think both of them are very well aware of how important this is.
Grant
looking for the body lock.
Leonard immediately backing out. So it seems like we can see that from Leonard. If he feels in any sort of danger at all, he would just back out.
Yeah, it appears that way as he snaps down to a guillotine here. Nice attack. This is very close here.
Grant popping out on the way down.
Yeah, does concede position for it, but looking to get a triangle attack of his own.
Absolutely, Leonard laying heavy on top.
Yeah,
trying to make sure that there's no chance.
Yeah, trying to stack him up, doing a good job. But if Grant's able to rotate a little more, kind of get that right arm under the leg, he could still get this from here, even with the stack. Going for the arm here, Lenny doing a good job spinning out of that. Grant probably should bail and look to improve his position at this point.
Grant now on bottom side control. Leonard with the thread through of the legs there, making it difficult to escape.
Yeah, he lets go of it, but that's a really good job. You know, keep him turned away from you, because you see as soon as Grant's able to get his legs back in, he's able to put him back in guard and start attacking again.
Absolutely. So utilize the snap down. Grant had to bail out and give bottom guard essentially.
Yeah, he did get a nice looking attack off of it, even though he's on his back. But that guillotine was really close. That was a very threatening attack that Grant was in. And anytime you see someone go to their back to defend it, you know, it means they're about to get submitted, and that's why they're giving up that position, is to alleviate a little bit of space to be able to spin out of that.
Grant seemed to have the triangle on his mind. He seems to keep trying to shovel the arm down. Now with the overhook on the opposite side. With the overhook, you can set up in no-gi. There is some arm locks, some Z-bars, Choi bars.
Yeah, but as we mentioned earlier, Lenny doing a good job putting Grant's head in the cage, and now he can really drive forward and, you know, just put a lot of pressure into him, and without a whole ton of risk of being submitted. But as I say that, remember that Hannah Hang in our last match did find a submission from this exact spot with that Kimura. So
I would say Leonard's being a little heavier than Sophia.
For sure.
All right, into the body lock position now.
Yeah, I'd like to see Grant again, just like we mentioned in the last fight, maybe just abandon the guard and start to really build a base and try to wrestle up. That's, you know, one of his stronger things that he's good at is wrestling, so I'd like to see him try to be able to get to a spot where he can implement that again. It's going to be very hard to get the triangle from this spot.
Absolutely. Going to the scissor sweep, now has the half scissor position, knee guard. Leonard moving just barely over into that 360 hold or cradle to pass, and now coming back to a top position, not quite past the guard as there's still a hook in. Grant picking up on it, trying to shuffle out.
Yeah, doing a good job with that sticky hook, but unable to improve his position. Still stuck on bottom here.
I'm not coming in.
You need to be louder. I know he's 10 dB louder than you.
Okay.
So you need to gain it up.
All right.
And you can just turn your monitor down.
All right, Grant still with the overhook there.
Yeah, looking for that Kimura, but starting to give up his back. He's trying to get back into position now. It's hard to see from this angle, but yeah, Grant probably trying to look to wrestle up here, and I think that would be good for him to do. It's hard to see. Lenny has his wrist controlled, so it's hard for Grant to really build a base here. Really flattened out in kind of a weak position on bottom.
Really trying to attack, moving over to, thought maybe position to the bulldog choke, but trying to really get a reaction out of Grant's head.
Yeah, really kind of some rude moves there, pushing the back of his head in like that. But it's not patty cake, as they say.
Absolutely.
I think he's, kind of simulating strikes like he maybe would in one of his MMA fights. Of course, can't do that here as far as actually throwing them.
So Grant's neck is wrapped. Leonard going for the rear naked choke.
Yeah, Grant, I think, trying to take him over the top here, but it's in a tough spot. It looks like he does get the submission.
All right.
Or yeah, it's hard to see from our angle, but good match here.
Absolutely. All right. So for the rear naked choke, Leonard Ventress established dominance early on, really pressed to pass, and then once that occurred, and even used the snap down initially.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, once he got on top, never relinquished that position, kept that heavy pressure. I believe had Grant been able to get the top position, he may have been able to do the same thing, but Lenny got it done. Better man in there tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 5-minute, 13-second mark of the round. We have into the rear naked choke, the blue corner, Leonard Deadshot Ventress.
All right, Mr. Gunshot